Well, friends, a jury in federal court in Washington, D.C. just returned a verdict that all but guarantees that Rudy Giuliani will spend the rest of his days penniless. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, Rudy Giuliani has gotten away with too much for too long. That just changed. Let's go right to the new reporting. This from the New York Times. Headline, jury orders Giuliani to pay $148 million to election workers he defamed. And that article begins, a federal jury on Friday ordered Rudy Giuliani to pay two former Georgia election workers more than $148 million for destroying their reputations and causing them extreme emotional distress by spreading baseless lies that they had tried to steal a victory from President Donald Trump after the 2020 presidential election. The award came after Judge Beryl Howell of the Federal District Court in Washington had ruled that Mr. Giuliani, who helped lead Mr. Trump's efforts to remain in office after his defeat, had defamed the two workers, Ruby Freeman and Shaye Moss. The jury in the civil trial had been asked to decide only on the amount of the damages. Over 2 hours of emotional testimony, Ms. Freeman and Ms. Moss described how their lives had been completely upended after December 3rd, 2020, when Mr. Giuliani first suggested that they had engaged in election fraud to tilt the result against Mr. Trump in Georgia, a critical swing state. And friends, in case you didn't follow the evidence, here is some of what Ms. Moss and Ms. Freeman suffered at the hands of Rudy Giuliani's lies. The women, who are black, are a mother and daughter, were soon flooded with expletive-laden phone calls and messages, threats, and racist attacks, they testified. People said they should be hanged for treason or lynched. Others told them they fantasized about hearing the sound of their necks snapping. They showed up at Miss Freeman's home. They tried to execute a citizen's arrest of Miss Moss at her grandmother's house. They called Miss Moss's 14-year-old son's cell phone so much that it interfered with his virtual classes, and he finished his first year of high school with failing grades. This all started with one tweet, Miss Freeman told the jury, referring to the social media post from Mr. Giuliani saying, "Watch, video footage from Georgia shows suitcases filled with ballots pulled from under a table after supervisors told poll workers to leave the room and 4 people stayed behind to keep counting votes." And by the way, friends, Rudy Giuliani had forever been promising that he was going to testify in this trial and present irrefutable evidence that Ruby Freeman and Shaye Moss really did engage in election fraud. He was going to present the jury with rock-solid proof. Mr. Giuliani did not testify at trial. Now, friends, right after I heard of today's jury award, there was just one thing I wanted to say. Here's what I posted. Let that be a lesson to anyone toying with the idea of following in the footsteps of Rudy and his ilk, lying about, endangering, and defaming our nation's election workers. The worm is turning, and justice matters. Friends, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.